All right. Board of County Commissioners, Bradford County, Florida, October 16th, 2025 at 6:30. At this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Andrews to lead us into prayer and a flag salute.
Let us bow our heads. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, God. We thank you for this opportunity to come before you and to do business for the constituents of this county that we love and respect. Lord, we just pray that you'll be with us in our decision making. God, let everything that we do be pleasing to you and to help the people of this county, Lord. We just pray you'll be with all of our families, Lord, wherever they may be. Keep them safe. Forgive us of our sins, Lord. And we give you all the praise and the glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the first thing to get started with is public comments. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address into the record before speaking. Address all comments to the board, not county staff. Refrain from demands for an immediate board response. Commissioners will not engage with speakers during public comments, and no boisterous behavior, personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks. And with that, the first one I have is Mrs. Strong. Ma'am? I mean, I got 4 here. Huh? Oh. I don't care. How about Larry Ford?
Name, excuse me. My name is Larry Ford, 852 Southeast 39th Street, Melrose. It's a Speedville area. My thing is, we know the governor have a bill passed that open carry of firearms. I would like to know what is the board position on open carry firearms in our community parks, where our kids play and where we gather to celebrate family.
Mr. Ford, I got to get with the sheriff on all this, and I'll be glad to get back with you later, but I can't answer that right at this second.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
So fortunately or unfortunately, I've been dealing with that question a lot over the past couple of weeks. And the answer is they're allowed in public parks. So the way that First District Court of Appeals case was written, it's McDaniel's. It says that anywhere that's a public place, there are the same restrictions that existed for concealed weapons. It just now applies to open carry as well. So there are certain places where firearms are prohibited. So if you can't go into a bank, can't come into a county commission meeting or a city commission meeting or city council meeting. You can't go into a place that predominantly serves alcohol. Can't be on school grounds. And there's a list. I think it's between 8 and 12 different places that you cannot carry. That does not mean that, so in a public building, there's restricted space. As you know, we have magnetic key locks. So in places that are restricted space, you're not allowed to carry in a restricted space. Employers can restrict employees from carrying. However, there's also what's called the parking lot law, which allows employees to lock up in their cars. And that's just the current state of the law.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, and what my concern is that a lot of kids is in the park, and people walking around with open carry firearms on them around the kids and stuff. That's not a good look. I know that, if Publix and everybody can let them in and some people can ban them, I wonder if there's anything that the board can do or the county can do about.
Not because it's public space. At least the current state of the law is the answer is no. And you mentioned Publix, so businesses can restrict who comes onto their property, and they can prohibit open or concealed carry. And obviously, I'm sorry, the big one, because we're attached to it, is the courthouse. You cannot carry in the courthouse unless you're sworn law enforcement.
So ain't nothing about them just walking around around the kids.
I understand your concern. But that is what the law says right now.
That is, excuse me, that's actually a state mandated thing, correct?
So what happened was it was a crime to open carry
Yep.
up until that appeal came.
Right.
And Mr. McDaniels was standing on a street corner and he was just waving signs. Wasn't being, you cannot wave a gun and be threatening or anything like that. Can't be a convicted felon. So he was lawfully standing there, and then he just happened to open. He had a holster on his side, and then he was arrested for that, and kind of caused the case to be appealed.
Yep.
So the result of that appeal was that the First District Court of Appeal decided that that was unconstitutional, and they went through an analysis as to, the purpose behind prohibiting open carry and then previously concealed carry.
That's right.
So with that decision that came out in the case, it struck down the criminal action to that, and that's what by default allowed it to become legal. And then the Attorney General, Mr. Uthmeyer, essentially said that they were not going to appeal that decision. So at the point where the Attorney General's office decided not to appeal that decision, it became the law in the state of Florida.
Yep.
And even if the Board of County Commissioners wanted to ban open carry in our parks, we could not do that.
That overrule us.
Correct. I believe you will get sued and lose.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ford. Teresa Bullock?
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
My name is Teresa Bullock. I live at 3575 Southeast 139th Street. We have been a resident here since August 29th of 24. We moved to our property from Jacksonville. We did so because we love Stark and the community. We felt that Stark would be a good place for us to retire to. After living in Jacksonville and dealing with the corrupt and uncompassionate bureaucratic mess that has been happening there for years, we chose Stark. My neighbors the issue at hand is the purchase and the development of the land at the areas off of Southeast 4th Avenue, Forsyth Road, Southeast 140th, and Southeast 139th Street. My neighbor shared a letter she had received from Victor from the Acre Ahead team in Gainesville regarding the sale of the land. We did not receive a letter, even though our property adjoins this acreage on two sides. The postmark on this letter is May 22nd, 2025. I called the company on Wednesday, May 28th, and spoke to Victor about purchasing the 5-acre property next to us. He said it was available. I asked him if it could be split into 2.5 acres. He said he wasn't sure, and then I needed to contact the zoning department, which I told him I would, but that if we could not split it, that we would still be interested in purchasing that 5 acres, and then I would need to get in touch with my bank to secure the funds. The next morning, Thursday, May 29th, at 11:26 a.m., Victor texted me to tell me that they had an offer on that property and that he would have a realtor reach out to me, which he never did. He stated in the text, "Sorry, we didn't expect to have this much interest in the property." I have the text and the call log saved. The issue I have is this. The May 15th Commissioners meeting, which we were not made aware of, the meeting minutes in section number 6 clearly states that all of this property was already designated as Victory Park, a minor subdivision, a week before this letter was mailed and 2 weeks before we received it. It states that the parcels cannot be subdivided and that it can only be divided for family members, 1 family member per acre. Number 1, what is the difference between us asking if the 5 acres could be split in half at 2.5 acres so we could purchase it, which we would have purchased the 5 acres anyway? Number 2, why did we not receive a letter? Number 3, why did the letter come out after the May 15th meeting where the parcels had already been designated as a Victory Park subdivision? Which I find ironic, seeing how the letter was from Victor. This letter, spelled with a K and not a C, was this all a sleight of hand? And now you're allowing one person to be in charge of deciding any future land purchases and developments. Is this going to be how Randy Andrews runs our county? We feel that this commission's vacuous attitude and complete dismissiveness of your constituents and community is appalling. I felt that I did my due diligence when I looked into demographics and governance of Bradford County. I guess I didn't dig far enough. We do not want to be a part of this subdivision. Our property is on the same property line as the 5 acres next to us. We request that a 10-foot fence be put up between these properties.
Okay.
I think that's only fair.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bo Hastings?
Good evening, commissioners. I've been doing some digging, educating myself, like I told you at the last meeting, and y'all say y'all only make 40,000, but when you add all your stuff together, your FICA, your retirement, your life, your actual salaries, $81,127. That's not including the 30,000 per diem, the 25,000 for your communication devices. Also, our budget from 2019, which is what Blazing Gully is actually going to go off of when Doge comes, has actually went up 25.2 million in 5 years. Also, I've been going online and watching these meetings, and I found a meeting on May 5th, 2025 that is not online on your budget meetings agendas. It's not on the minutes. It's not on public notices, nothing. And this meeting was actually about what that lady was just speaking about. Also, it was about funding for Brooker of the 327. Go ahead and put it in the budget, which it was put in the budget, which it actually went over 50,000 above that. But then on this, it also talks about how you had the meeting in Brooker for the fire assessment the Tuesday before that meeting, I believe was April the 29th, where you had the meeting with Commissioner Andrews, and I think the fire chief was on Zoom or something. Were they told that the millage was at 10, or did they know the millage was actually at 9.4 when you raised it on September the 10th back up to the 10 mills, increasing our property taxes 1.4 million? Also, y'all discussed with the fire chief about how to get Lottie on board, and actually you gave advice to take the equipment away from Lottie and move it to Helburn Springs, because Mr. Daughtry even commented, well, let them know there's a school there and they need this, but because Lottie owns the fire building and not the equipment. So basically, was this kind of blackmail to get Lottie on board with this fire assessment, especially when the meeting's not online? You can go on YouTube and find it. It's for May 5th, 6:30 a.m., which it wasn't actually at 6:30 a.m., it was at 6:30 p.m. But when going through this schedule of your meetings, I found this meeting and it wasn't on your schedule. It's not in the minutes. It's not on the agenda of the Bradford, of the actual commissioner meetings and agendas. So why was this meeting left out? I think the residents of Bradford County needs to go to this meeting and actually watch it and see what y'all were doing behind their backs with this fire assessment, because you were all on board with it before that September 2nd meeting. And just so you know, I have posted it on my personal Facebook so the residents can go and watch it and it doesn't get removed from the website. Thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Mrs. Strong?
I bet y'all like me now. So, my name is Vyonda Strong, Post Office Box 530, Lottie, Florida. So I came here, and I have been coming here for a long time to get my mom's ditch cleaned. And I would talk about how I needed budgetary items also. In those meetings, I would bring up items on the budget and things to improve our budget. I would say things about ways that we could make improvements, and I would throw things out, and you guys would look at me like I was crazy. Sometimes Denny would say things that wouldn't work. Scott would say stuff, and everybody had something to say. Chris would say stuff, and nobody took me seriously. Well, it's funny now that Scott has a committee that he's looking into those things that I said. Well, it's a deliverable. And if Scott decides to use it as a deliverable, I want part of the money because he's going to use it as a deliverable to get a raise. I want part of your raise.
Mrs. Strong.
No, I'm
Mrs.
just
Strong,
teasing.
just
I'm just
address it to
teasing.
us.
Better that.
Please leave
I'm
Mr.
just
Corrigan
teasing.
out of it.
I'm just teasing.
Okay,
I'm just,
saying.
I'm just teasing. It's a deliverable. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So you have an item on the agenda about the zoning and director. The lady spoke about it, and it is not in your best interest to give that to one person. Developers, homeowners associations, investors, all of those people are going to come and they're going to make a difference. I don't think that you really want that one person to make plats and lot decisions, replat decisions, because legally he has too much power. And that power is not a good thing. We have enough nepotism on this board, we have in this county, where we don't need more with
Thank you, Ms.
these
Strong.
decisions.
Thank you.
We don't need it.
Thank you. All right, next we have a special guest, Chrissy Thompson.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wait,
Mr.
wait.
President.
I'm sorry. I am skipping way ahead. Sorry about that.
Bless you.
I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion, we approve this consent agenda.
I have a motion from Commissioner Thompson,
I'll second that.
second from Commissioner Daughtry. Is there any questions? All in favor by sign of aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. Sorry about that, Mrs. Thompson. All right, now it's your turn. Thanks.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, thank you for letting us be here. I'm here tonight on behalf of the City of Stark. Along with me is Justin DeMello. He does have a small, quick presentation for you guys. We just want to convey from the City of Stark that we appreciate the opportunity to be here, appreciate the opportunity to update you guys on a joint venture that we have together, and look forward to continuing it and look forward to making this project come to fruition. And I'll let Justin DeMello from Wood and Curran, our engineers, I'm sorry, our engineers, he has a great presentation for you.
Thank you all. And for the record, Justin DeMello. I am a vice president and professional engineer with Woodard & Curran. We've been partnered with the City of Stark for probably the better part of 6 years, doing a lot of their water, wastewater, stormwater, funding, planning, engineering work. And really excited about this one. This is one that's been a project of ours, or at least an idea of ours for a long time. And I'm happy to see it's finally coming to fruition here. Quickly, just a quick background. City asked Woodard & Curran to evaluate alternatives to extend utilities, water and wastewater, to the State Road 16 bypass, or to the 301 bypass on State Road 16, to align with some new water system improvements that the city was going to be implementing. City of Stark has a long-standing history of operating a water and wastewater system. That water system has been identified through planning documents historically as being in some disrepair, needing some improvements to bring it up to current standards. So the city had a project that identified to upgrade their water systems, water treatment plants, line looping to improve pressure, a tank, an elevated storage tank in the area to improve pressure and fire flow throughout the city as well. So that project kind of overlapped with an opportunity to not just get water utilities out to the bypass, but also wastewater to that way provide, full service out to the bypass area. A couple of years ago, the city did a joint venture with Bradford County, utilizing a memo of understanding and a commitment to use some of the county's ARPA funds. County has committed $4 million of ARPA funds to date, and the city and county partnership has now extended into the legislative session. So the last several years, the city and county partnership has been successful in securing more than $4 million over the last several years towards this utilities to the bypass project. So $8 million plus secured so far through the partnership to extend utilities, water, wastewater out to the bypass. So so far, we've tapped into about $100,000 of the commitment that the county has made to the city of the $4 million in ARPA funds. 100,000 of that, the first phase that the city authorized was an evaluation of how do we get sewer out to the bypass, because the water project was already budgeted and planned with the city. So the city utilized the ARPA funds from the county to evaluate what their alternatives were to get wastewater service out to the bypass. The first alternative that we evaluated is detailed here. It was a 2-mile force main extension on Rayford Road, 12-inch pipe. Obviously, that is well oversized for what is out on the bypass now, but we've got to understand that what could come out there, right, and the potential for the growth along that area, right, really justified making a larger investment in a larger diameter pipe. The proposal was to extend that line down Rayford to Weldon, Weldon to Todd, Todd to Saratoga Heights Park, where the city has an aging lift station. That lift station will be upgraded, and then subsequently that lift station currently pumps to the treatment plant. So overall, 22,000 linear feet of force main to be upgraded and a lift station as alternative one. We did a high level kind of planning level cost estimate, right, that not only includes the construction cost to date, but also a planning level contingency of 25% to that. That contingency allows for, construction dollars in the future, right? Not, hey, we need 8 today, but when this bid's in the future, right, could be a little bit more, could run into some issues during design. We also add bidding and construction services, design services, legal, fiscal, administrative. So a very high level, $11.8 million to extend a sewer force main, as well as upgrade the lift station. But again, about 4 to 5 miles worth of brand new 12-inch pipe and an upgraded lift station. The second alternative that we considered was a 2-mile force main extension on Rayford Road. 1 mile would be new force main to Orange Street as well. So this alternative doesn't go through Saratoga. This alternative stays on the main roads of Rayford and then brings it down to Orange, and then Orange directly to the wastewater treatment plant, if you're familiar. It is highlighted on the screen behind me in green. This alternative, we would rehabilitate Saratoga Heights and reverse the flow of Saratoga Heights down Todd to this force main. It's really a main utility corridor force main. It would allow us to abandon that old Saratoga Heights force main, and as you can see on the bottom, it's 16,000 linear feet of new force main. So substantially smaller number of pipe, as well as not creating a larger master lift station at Saratoga, more of a rehab and upgrade, slight upgrade, as opposed to a major overhaul of that lift station. So naturally, with the less pipe and the smaller upgrade to the lift station, this alternative was ultimately a lot cheaper. You can see the bottom line number is around $8 million instead of 11. And this is ultimately the recommendation that we made to the city commission back in, was it late August? August. We do have that memo that I'm happy to provide to the city to share with all of you as well. So based on that recommendation of alternative 2, we did talk about the total project costs being less, the total life cycle cost being less of that alternative. It is a more direct force main route, less turns, less twists, less 90-degree bends, a better utility corridor for future growth with large diameter pipe as opposed to running through the park. So currently, from a funding perspective, full design and construction is currently underfunded, right, in a city-county MOU, right? We've got $4 million. We've got some contributions from the state. So the city is still seeking a pathway for full design and construction, but that's not going to hold up the design. So my discussions with the city manager are, we've got legislative appropriations, right? We've got the county commitment of up to $400,000 of additional money to pay for the design. We are going to proceed with that sewer design and move forward with this alternative 2, while also going into this current legislative session and asking for a little bit more, right? A little bit more contribution to the project. Right now, I'll get into it in the next slide, but the city is also looking at other alternatives as well: developer agreements, impact fees, grants, other grants opportunities, as well as alternative financing programs. We are looking at about a 12-month schedule. So we are looking at currently for design of the lower half, the Orange Street portion, to be about 12 months because we've got a DOT crossing. We also have a railroad crossing on Orange Street as well to overcome to get that force main under those locations. So a fairly comprehensive design will be getting underway here this fall. But one of our plans is to split the design into 2 phases, one of which is to do State Road 16 design, expedite that, move it forward, get pipe in the ground. That way dry sewer can be in the ground. And then once the design for Orange Street's done, move that forward with the construction project on the lower half of the project. So just to bring you up to speed on the water system as well, I did mention that the city's been underway moving this project forward. Plans and specifications are complete. They're currently awaiting DEP, Department of Environmental Protection's approval and consideration for funding at their November 2025 hearing that's coming up next month. Assuming that we get good news from DEP and the city is going to be awarded some loans/grants to hopefully execute that project, we're looking at bidding and construction tentatively scheduled for early 2026 of getting started. 12-month construction schedule. And you can see here we broke out the 90% cost estimate to show you guys what the city's already investing in the water system as well. Bottom line number with contingencies right around $18 million. So of that, we've got $18 million on the water project. We've got another $8 on the sewer improvements. So collectively about $26 million to upgrade the city's water system as well as extend utilities. Now, all of that is not contributing to getting utilities out to the bypass. The portion that I would say is getting utilities to the bypass is right around $14 million. So the way I look at it is we've got a great contribution from the county. City's got a legislative appropriation, that's contributing as well. City's also going to put in some of their money, right, to extend that partnership and get utilities out to the bypass. But if we can get a little bit more, right, from the state, that will kind of get us over the hump and make sure that we have enough contingency to make sure we can execute the project. So with that, I'm happy to open up to any questions, and I'll also offer Ms. Thompson an opportunity to say any final words.
Okay. Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. DeMello, and especially thank you, Clerk Thompson, for coming. For me, I interpreted our investment with the city, which benefits all of Bradford County, was to extend services out to the bypass so that we can encourage businesses to come to our county. But when I have looked at or reviewed the articles in the paper, it seems like, maybe it was kind of heading in a different direction, not towards 16. So it's important that for us, or for me, that we have access as soon as we can to encourage that, because if you don't have it, then it doesn't really encourage businesses to come. But it seems like it would be on the very tail end of the long scheme of things in terms of the project for the city. But that was something that I was requesting clarification for. And if the plans had changed, I needed for our board to know that that's not the direction in which you were going. So based on what you're saying, the projection is the access to the bypass is going to be the last thing that will happen.
I just want to make sure I understand your question. The project is moving forward collectively, right? So the drinking water improvements for the building the foundation of Stark's water system to support growth in the bypass, right, has to move forward. The other portion is the design of that line extension, the water line extension, and the elevated water storage tower out on the bypass, right? That's part of that water system improvement. The sewer project, right? We started a little bit later, right? Because we just did the planning. We'll now be moving into a design phase, right? That will follow suit, right? We're going to have water first, right? But then you're going to have sewer that's going to follow it right after. So you'll move from one construction project into another one. But you don't have full water and sewer until you have both of them collectively out to the bypass. But all of them are moving forward to the bypass on 16.
How much more did you say that you think that the project will require? How much more funding?
How much more of an ask at the legislative, or how much in total? Because
Total.
total just to the bypass, or total for again the city's overall investment in upgrading their existing systems plus the bypass.
Getting everything out to the bypass.
So the bypass, we're estimating, the upgrades to the sewer system, the extension of the sewer system, as well as the water system improvements associated with the bypass, around 14 million of the
Additional funds.
No, total project cost.
Okay.
So 14 million is the total to get utilities, water and sewer out to the bypass with elevated storage and upgrading some of the city's infrastructure to support that growth.
And the sewer systems that will handle all of that. There's now you said Saratoga Heights
Yes, ma'am.
actually has one, and then the other one is where, I'm sorry, up in the city.
The sewer system is so the lift station at Saratoga Heights was alternative one to make that one of the central cogs to conveying wastewater from the bypass through Saratoga ultimately to the treatment plant. The alternative two that was ultimately recommended was really to just stay on Rayford and then ultimately down to Orange Street and direct line to the treatment plant, as opposed to going through an existing city's lift station.
And I have one more. With the money that we have committed,
Yes.
and the city, how much additional funds? I guess what do we need to ask for?
So the current ask, I believe you have it, right?
Okay.
A little over 3, wouldn't it be?
I think a great way to look at it is if the total need is 14.
How much?
2.7 million is what our ask will be for our legislative day. And with that would be 1.5 to the bypass, 875,000 for our the meter replacement, and then for stormwater there'll be a small 325,000. So, and I think that our total ask this time for legislation is going to be 2.7.
So what will be the total package?
14 million.
14.
But we have already committed most of ours. Your
Right.
your 4 million, and then what we expect to get from DEP or EPA,
Right.
whichever.
I think a great way to look at it is divide up the 14, right? You got the county that's contributed 4, right? It's about a third. You've got the state that's already committed 4, right? That's about a third. And then you've got this additional ask, which is around 1.5 million. Hopefully the state commits a little bit more, and then you've got Stark committing that other third. That's sort of how I've divvied it up.
When is your completion date?
So right now, if construction were to move forward starting in Q1 of 2026, we'd be looking at the end of the year for the water system, right? Water system extended out with an elevated tower. The sewer system would likely be extended out in 2027, ready for connections. So probably by the middle of 2027 at current schedule.
And that would be complete where a business could come in and hook up.
Complete, ready for businesses, yes.
Mr. Chair, I just want to say the whole project and everything has changed from what we were initially told. Okay. Justin, you and I met in February, and we still have not seen one set of drawings. The only thing we see is on the back of a napkin or this, and that's it. So, and I know what we've already contributed because, as I shared with the board, the last thing we wanted to do was turn over $4 million and never get 1 foot closer to the bypass. And that's where we are right now. Quite honestly, that's where we are. So if we would have turned over the $4 million, the only thing I've seen this money go towards so far has been repairs to the city, which we were told anything within the city had already been taken care of. The lift stations and everything else. Now we've got an alternate route. So that backs you up to getting us plans to show us what direction we're going in. And I just, again, I'm glad we didn't release all of it because again, at this point, it's the story's changed. It's changed on us drastically. And that's very disappointing. And another thing was we were also told that the completion date would be fall of 2026. So right now we're looking at the water possibly being completed by 2026. And then I would imagine end of 27, first part of 28 before we see sewer out there. So in that time, not only has the design cost gone up, the construction cost has gone up, the repairs that have been done in the city that I see, I just hope they're not getting paid by the hour. Because the contractors that are out there, there's a very, very, very slow moving project sitting right over by the bridge by the hospital. And again, those were the concerns that I had. We were given a much clearer picture of how this was going to move along. And now here we are backing up and saying, this is the direction we're going to go. And it's just, again, I'm disappointed. We got State Road 16 is being repaved right now. And then all this construction is going to happen after the road's paved. So we've got MOT that's going to happen, which I saw a price tag for MOT in there. We've got driveways that are going to have to be repaired. They're going to be cut through. And just all of this. And again, I don't know that we get 1 foot further. I think we go 10 steps back. So I'm disappointed. I really am. Because I know that the partnership, when we talked about it with your board, not your board at the time, again, this board and one of the things that we were hearing from the legislators was how good that we were getting along. And I'm not saying that we're not getting along now. I'm just saying that it's the whole, everything's just been crumbled up and thrown out. And here we are. It's like we're starting over again. I would still like to see some construction drawings. Even if they're 60% drawings, I'd still like to see them.
And we can absolutely provide those to you.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
just
great.
Don't have them in this presentation.
Okay, that would be fantastic. Just so we can see something
Oh, yeah.
that our money has gone towards. Because again, there was other things, and I will say, and I have to fall on the sword for this, because I felt like using this money to help generate revenue down the road was going to be better for this county than to take that money and divide it up and put it into things that were going to end up costing us money in the long run. Okay? But now I have egg on my face because I think that the partnership and the way that the design team and everything else has handled this has just not been very transparent. So that's you asked, that's what I have to say.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
Justin, do you have 60% plans ready?
So on the water side, we've got 90%, like we
Okay.
mentioned in the presentation.
Okay.
DEP has those. We're waiting for final comment, but on the water side, the water system's done.
Okay. So if you can send me what you have.
Sure.
And we'll send that out to the commissioners and make that part of the presentation going forward. But yeah, Commissioner Doherty's right. I agree that things have changed since the time that we committed the $4 million of ARPA funds, and we still are incredibly excited, and we think this is a tremendous use of that money. We just want to be sure that we understand where we are in the project, where the money's being spent, and what we can truly expect in terms of a timeline.
Well, I would propose probably after the November hearing with DEP, getting an opportunity to come back in front of you and give you an update, maybe early in 2026, January 2026, after the holidays. Give you an update on that DEP moving forward and this updated schedule. The reality is the city doesn't have an ability to bond, $26 million for these improvements. So without that, commitment from the state, as well as, the DEP, that has a potential to, change the project again if again, that DEP isn't going to buy into the full project and helping the city get there. So the city and county are in partnership together, as well as the state DEP as a key contributor to making sure the success of the project gets done.
Mr. DeMello, even at this point, I had mentioned to you an alternate route of going out Edwards Road to the bypass and then just coming up the bypass. So virtually, I would say no MOT or very little MOT. Probably information that's already been performed as far as geotechnical, from DOT and going in that right of way. And again, less invasive when it comes to, again, a state road that's, Lord knows how much the cost of that is, plus the driveways, plus the, any other, connections along the way that, we're going to find out that there's another lift station that needs to be rehabbed. And, so at some point we're going to have to put a tourniquet on this thing because again, I just see the goalpost moving.
So if I can just quickly comment on that, the reason we're going out State Road 16 with the sewer is because the city already had a planning document conducted to extend the water line out there for pressure improvements in the north part of the city. That's why the State Road 16 corridor was identified to extend water. That's why there's an elevated tower out there, because the modeling for the city had indicated that that's where they needed the most pressure improvements. It wasn't on Edwards Road. It wasn't anywhere else. So the use of the county's dollars to get the sewer line out there, right, made more sense for us to extend it where you're extending water as opposed to creating a new corridor with just sewer or water while you have this one to the north. So I know we discussed that in the past, and it's been about a good amount of time since we've had that discussion, but that's primarily the reason why the State Road 16 corridor was selected, because it married up with getting a water project that was already moving forward at that location. As we talk about MOT and driveway cuts, the majority of the pipe is going to be installed directional drilling. It's going to get it's a very wide right of way on 16. So there may be a couple access driveway pits impacted, but the majority of it is going to be off the road, off the new paved surface, very wide right of way at that location. And that's where the utility corridor would be, is off to the side of the road where the new pavement wouldn't be severely impacted.
Ms. Thompson, where's the disconnect as far as, I don't know if Woodard and Curran has been coming to your meetings and kind of keeping you updated, because we have not been given any updates at all. This is.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty new to them.
I understand.
In October, so and everybody else is at a Florida Gas convention. So I did want to come and express our concern as well, and to make sure that we are still together, board to board, and that we're going to do a project together and move forward. And yes, they have. We have had some items with the sewer plant and with the other things, and with the bypassing of Saratoga and different things. So those have had to be, brought forward, and we were sorry for the change of how it was, but we do feel like this is the most direct way, and to put water and sewer together and to move forward. I know that everybody is excited together for what could be out at the bypass, and what we have some commitment to doing and coming our way. So I do, they have brought everything to us. I'm not sure where the disconnect is, Commissioner Daugherty. Honest to God, I'm not.
Again, because And I know I'm
And
just
maybe
beating a
if
dead horse, but
just
like I said, we
following
still don't
through,
have any drawings,
um,
you know, and
right.
and to give money to the city, again, that's like giving a contractor money to build your house, and you haven't even seen the plans to build a house yet.
Right,
And so that's where we
for
are.
that, I'm sorry as well. I had no idea that you guys didn't have drawings, and we did have them come in August, and they did do multiple things where we kind of gave them some direction as to which way to go. And for our board, we did feel like bypassing the Saratoga, there was some conversation as well as to out Edwards Road and down and around, and I think that linear footage would have made an impossible. Because we would have to do Seward one way and water the other, and then we're not capturing things together. I will try my very best to get together and have, your county manager and our city manager get together, get you guys updated a lot more and get some more information, even if we're just on an agenda, just to say, hey, we're still here, we're moving forward, this is what we have, get you guys some drawings for sure.
And Madam Clerk, I really appreciate your reception and allowing me to come and speak with you, to arrange for
Absolutely.
folks to come and talk to us. It's important that our communication remains open. While you indicated, Mr. DeMello, that you would present to us in January, I would like at least a quarterly update with
And
our
confirming of
two
that.
boards, so that we can stay on top of what is happening, because our investment was to have connectivity at the bypass, so that we can, as quickly as possible, encourage businesses to come to the area.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just to provide a little bit of context to all of this. In the beginning, this was our idea. This was the county's idea. As a matter of fact, Commissioner Doherty and I sat at that table right there in January of 2023 with 5 other stakeholders, and that's where the idea was hatched of partnering with the city and contributing up to $4 million of our ARPA funds to extend water and wastewater to the bypass. And that commitment hasn't wavered. All we ask is that we be kept up to date in terms of in accordance with the MOU that we have. And like I said previously, we're still terribly excited about the prospect.
And we are too. We definitely are. And our commitment has not changed. If the project has to veer a little bit, but we will, and I will make a personal commitment to you guys that you will have information quarterly or sooner, and that we will get everything together so that we can still partner together and do good things for our community.
and it is important that we partner together, because it's, it serves the whole county. But also, when we're asking for funds, additional appropriations, and that sort of, it shows that we're working together with our municipalities, and it would benefit them all. But the communication has to be
Yes, ma'am.
there,
I do know that
and
we've had some lacking communication on our end and transparency from different things that have transpired. So I would say, by late December, you guys will have a report, and you'll definitely have the drawings in your emails and sent on over to the county manager ASAP.
all right. And can you also provide us a copy of
Yes, ma'am.
your point?
Yes, ma'am.
If I
And-
could ask a question, has any part of it been completed? I think you were talking about the plan when you said the water is done. The plan for the water is done.
The plans and specifications are completed for the water system. Yes, ma'am.
But has any of the repairs that have been made, is there any part of this that is completed?
No. So the idea is that it goes out as one contract. So one plan and spec for public bid to upgrade the water system as one contract. And then there'll be a subsequent contract behind that on the sewer extension,
And it will be 2026
2026.
when everything is done and we're ready to take action and start digging in the ground.
2026, yes.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have.
All right, everybody good?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Also include
yeah.
in those drawings too, whatever upgrades that you all have done on the lift stations, or what upgrades that are being proposed to be done. Because again, that's only going to be increase in cost. So certainly we are going to support the ask of the city for the project, but you know, I think we've just discussed it. We need to have more transparency, and we need to see something at this point, because we've already given the city $100,000, and if it was $100,000 just to say we're not going to go this way, we're going to go this way, then I think we got taken.
Well, and I think the money that was drawn off was for design.
Just
and sent.
planning and design.
Planning and design. So
And
that
there
is-
will be representation that will be here to, okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, item number 5, Mr. Cornegay, would you want to,
Yes. Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. So as you know, we're in the midst of a Bradford County Courthouse renovation project, and the action item tonight before you is to consider approval of design, engineering, and consulting services proposal not to exceed $140,000 from NV5 County Contract Engineering Firm. Amount will be funded with state appropriation funds. And item B is to consider approval of the project plan. And so you know, when the time comes, you may take both items up simultaneously with one motion. And at this time, I would like to ask Mr. Adam Gale to come up and answer any questions you may have about the project.
Good evening. I'm Adam Gale, Principal Architect of Superlative Architects, part of NV5's team. They're running this job as project manager, but we've got the majority of the scope under our purview, so I'm representing our team this evening. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Could you give just a little, could you tell us what the project is, why we're doing this, where the direction came from, for the sake of everyone?
Absolutely. So a little bit of background on this project is, I'm sure you're all very well familiar with the building next door, but there are parts of the facilities that are just outdated from a functionality perspective due to the operations that are happening over there in the present day. There are ADA deficiencies that we're looking to correct. There are some finishes upgrades that we're hoping to bring the facility kind of into this century. And so it's a holistic kind of bringing the facility up to the standards of a modern day facility while addressing ADA needs, certainly some safety concerns. And just as a very quick overview, we've kind of broken the project into a handful of phases. And what's been identified as priority for phase number 1 is to take the existing vault space and move the service desks that are currently kind of right out in that main space into that space. And that's a larger space for operations. It will have, safety partitions that will separate staff from the general public. And we will take the some of the books that are in records that are currently in that space and that are no longer needed, and we'll house them in a smaller room. And what that will do is will allow us to create a new lobby. And so when you come into the courthouse, you walk down the corridor, we'll make sure it's very clear where everybody needs to go. When they come in, we'll have a new welcoming lobby space. We'll have a new vault space with service desks that allow for 10 to 12 service desks to be in that space. We're looking at creating a new accessible clerk's office and relocating an existing conference room to be closer and more functional to the clerk's office, as well as the financial support offices back there. So that's really phase 1, and we're pretty confident that we can accommodate a phase 1B2, which will replace the flooring in the court security offices and just make it more durable, maintainable. There's a lot of traffic that goes on in that space. It's a very low impact way to improve the space. So phase 2 of the project is to create a functional renovated finance office. And right now, offices are kind of spread about, different sizes, a little difficult to navigate, and we'll take these and really just consolidate them in some of the space that we'll have there. It provides a new workroom for the staff as well, and just provides a much more functional space for the occupants and workers over there. Part of phase 1 actually is also to provide new ADA compliant restrooms. We did a life safety survey as part of the initial conceptual design package, And the existing bathrooms that we have are going to be a major challenge to make fully ADA compliant. There are certainly things we can do to bring them closer into compliance, but even the entrance into those bathrooms themselves is not compliant. And so instead of spending tons and tons of money to kind of repair some of the sins of the past, we're going to add 2 compliant restrooms, and that satisfies our ADA needs. So even if we end up doing nothing on the other toilet rooms, which we're hoping to do something, we will be covered by ADA. So phase 3 would be to modernize the existing toilet rooms and to make as many ADA improvements as we can, knowing that we probably won't be able to achieve full compliance within our budget, but again, approving them, thankfully we'll be grandfathered in and we'll be providing the new ADA toilets. So our facility will be in compliance. And then phase 4 is to actually go up into the courtrooms and provide ADA compliant access to the benches, stands, jury boxes, new finishes upgrades, new energy efficient light fixtures to bring down operating and maintenance costs, and upgrading finishes to the jury rooms and toilet rooms that are adjacent to those spaces as well. And then should budget allow, we'd like to take a look at the judges and the general magistrate's office and the court staff office and see if we can apply a finishes upgrade there just to really bring as much of the facility up to date as possible. So that's kind of the general scope of everything. And again, happy to go into greater detail on any of it.
That's good.
Okay, any other questions?
Just for my head, and Mr. Carnegie could probably explain it, or Amanda. So when we move from the 95,925 plus the 34,000, and I know that we had increased that amount to the 140, what made that change to the 140?
I think I can speak to this a little bit, and then
go ahead.
please
Sure, go.
fill in where I fall short.
I've got the chart here in front of me. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so we had been brought on under NV5 to do an initial conceptual design study, and that took the project to that phase. And we did that at kind of a smaller hourly not to exceed rate, just so we were able to get our arms around the scope of the project. And then from there, we did provide a full design services proposal to take that conceptual project and bring it through design development and construction documents to permit documents and through construction administration. Our role in construction administration at that outset was really just to answer any questions that come up during construction, attend a monthly meeting, approve pay apps, review things like standard nature, but not hands-on, heavy-duty, on-site, all-the-time construction administration. And so that 95 was for that initial proposal. As we got into the job and we're looking at OSCA plans and funds and things that were required, we realized we needed somebody to lead the bidding phase. We needed a stronger presence in construction administration to help provide monthly reports that are requirements as part of that OSCA plan and part of the requirements to receive the funds for the project. And so we provided an additional services proposal to provide these enhanced bidding phase fees that were not in the original scope, the enhanced construction administration services, and NV5 did the same with a small number of theirs to carry project management services through those phases as well. So it's kind of an overview answer. If there's a more granular answer you want to speak to, please.
Well,
And just
that
to-
answers why we had to increase it, but go ahead.
And just to add a little to regarding OSCA, you may recall back in August, we had to bring that agreement to the board when the state awarded this appropriations funding to us. They wanted it to be managed through OSCA state court system because it had to deal with the courthouse. And so when we had to enter into that agreement, there's a lot of steps and requirements in that agreement that we have to follow: monthly reports, a project plan that you're going to have to, that's before you to consider. Chief judge has to be involved and approve. So as Adam indicated, initially when we were considering this, it wasn't as intense until OSCA got involved, and there was a little bit more details that are going to be required of us to manage these funds.
Okay.
And also, I might add, if you want a itemized account of the costs associated or that comprises the $140,000, on your agenda item sheet, item 5, on page 4, is that itemized accounting.
Yeah, I see it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
So I have a question on so in your project schedule, in item G on page 2, in your design phase, the 10 weeks there, does that include in the next page on page 3, I believe it is, you have task 1 and task 2 under the architectural design, and then task 1 and task 2 under the MEP engineering services. Would that design phase include all of those items in that 10 weeks?
Yes,
Okay.
that's architectural and MEP will be done contiguously,
Okay.
and so that is all within that same time limit.
Okay. I have a question for the clerk. Do you have any questions?
I don't. We severely got underfunded for this on what we'd asked for from the state for the grant funding, and we only got half of the million we asked for. So in your packet, we've got another ask for this
Sure.
year, so we can do the bottom floor and the top floor because courtrooms are super old, and there's some stuff needs to be done upstairs as well.
Right. I know that you've been on top of this along the way. I just wanted to see if there was any questions that you had.
We're down pretty close now to the final drawings aren't done yet, but picking out, trying to find what kind of materials counters made out of and stuff like that. It's not gonna be granite or anything like that, but just colors and types of windows. They have different types of security glass with the fixtures that hold them. I've seen some of this little courthouses like Baker and Bradford. They must have got $3 million to redo their offices and stuff over there. But we're not going to have that kind of money to use brass and granite and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
What about construction with all your employees and that kind of construction going on? I guess you'll have it divided up into different phases.
It's going to be bad. It's just going to be pretty rough. Those girls, they're used to having, an open cubicle, maybe 2 of them working together, but they're pretty much 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are going to be crammed into the little office right there across from the conference room.
Yeah, that's because I was listening to the whole scope of work, and that's a lot to be going on while you're trying to keep your office
I'm
running.
trying to figure out how to get all of them in there.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's one thing, whoever's the contractor, we're gonna have to make sure that they don't mind working some nights and getting this thing done.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be part of the conversation during the bidding phase, is to provide a phased construction plan so we can understand when people are going to need to move out and where things are going to be noisy for certain periods of time. So that's certainly something we'll consider as part of the bid package.
Okay.
And I just want to also ask that there's a good possibility I may be without an office for a while. So I'll be sitting across the desk from Rachel. So I'll have to go over to the conference room if y'all want to talk to Rachel or anything, or me. We'll have to go across the hall.
We'll pray for you.
How much of this can they do after hours?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How much of this can y'all do after hours?
I don't have a direct answer for you, and part of it is probably going to be security, making sure that we're maintaining a secure building and having a secure construction site.
I understand that.
But they certainly can do a lot of it. It just raises cost up. So hopefully, as part of the bid packages, when we put this project out to bid, we'll have people include numbers for nights and weekend time, and if we need to pick that up, we'll at least know what it costs in advance. But we don't have to go in with the expectation necessarily that that's how we want to proceed.
Because when I had my construction company this years ago, we did a lot of work at the Alachua County Courthouse, and that was one of the stipulations. All our work was at night. When they closed at 6, we were there ready to go, and we worked all night, and it had to be clean and ready for business the next day before we walked out. And like I said, that's been a long time ago, but our bid wasn't jacked up that much more just to work at night. We were happy to get the job, so hopefully you can get a contractor that feels the same way.
Yes, sir.
Because also for a contractor, if I can work at night and not have 50 people bumping into me, I would much rather do it at night and, get the job done, get in and out. But anyway, just some things we'll have to consider.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. I think that that's wonderful commentary and something we'll certainly consider while we're putting this out to bid.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, do I have a motion to consider the approval and design, engineering, consultant services proposal not to exceed 140,000, and also item B, consider approval of the, project plan?
Make a motion to approve the approval of the design engineering as well as consider approval of the project plan.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner, Daltrey, second from, Commissioner Thompson. Any questions?
I just have a question. Ms. Roden, are you okay with the way I just kind of abbreviated that, but are you okay? That's all right? Okay, good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor by sign of aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6, Mr. Cornigan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll defer this item to Mr. Commando.
So state law changed during the legislative session last year that now requires, it's not an option, requires all counties to designate an administrative approval process with an administrator for plat review. It's understood that generally plats have certain requirements under statute, so it's a ministerial approval. There are some counties that I work with that are giving some direction to the person giving plat approval. For example, Baker County has advised their community development director that they don't want to see any acceptance of roads at this point. So if that happens, then the plat would be denied. It would be appealed and then come back through the process that you're accustomed to. But for things that go through routinely, this resolution is something that, again, is required by statute now.
Okay.
So if it's okay with you, Mr. Chair, I'll read the title.
Yes.
A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, designating the zoning director to receive, review, and process plat or replat submittals, and designating the zoning director as the administrative official responsible for approving or approving with conditions or denying plat or replats pursuant to section 177.071 Florida statutes, providing for conflict and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution as read?
I make a motion to approve the resolution as read.
I have a motion from Commissioner Daltrey,
Second.
second from Commissioner Thompson. Is there any other questions?
We see no concern in this, right? I mean, we're good with what we're doing. Okay.
Okay. All right. Hearing no more questions. All in favor by sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right. Item number 7, clerk's report.
Believe it or not, we don't have anything this week.
All right.
We're good.
Thank
Just,
you.
just, I would tell commissioners, be mindful that, it seems like every year I start in January talking about budget season's coming up, which is May, June. And, I just wanted to ask, everyone to write down if you think about something or something, you saw. I mean, that you thought maybe that we could do better or try to move money from one place to the other to try to fix something. And cause at the end of the year, it seems like we always get down to the end, and then like everybody's like wanting something right there at the end, and that puts Dana through heck. It puts me in a mind bender, and it just it's real hard to do in a quick amount of time.
Okay. Thank you. Sheriff's report. Okay. Let's see nobody. All right. County manager.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first thing we need to discuss is the legislative requests and also the letters of support for other agencies that we typically support during this process. You have a draft of the POM card that we plan to print and promulgate next week at the legislative delegation meeting. So we'll take the items on our 9A in order. The first one is Phase 2 courthouse renovation. We've talked at length about that today. The ask would be for $1.5 million to continue the upgrades at the courthouse. The second item is for a feasibility study for a package water and wastewater plant at the Keystone Heights Airport. The ask there would be $175 or $175,000. Item 3 is expansion of the bridge on Southwest 106 lane from a 1-lane concrete bridge to a 2-lane bridge that services the Bradford Sportsman's Farm. Item 4 is a fire engine in the amount of $600,000. Item B, letters of support for legislative requests. The town of Brooker, we would ask for a letter supporting Phase 2 for the fire station and apparatus at $514,620. That's right. So the $514,000 that you see there is actually it is only will be a partial ask. It's more like 1.1 million, almost double that for the entire amount. And we'll make that correction. I believe it may be correct on the palm card, but in any event, if not, we'll get that corrected. The second letter of support would be for the Keystone Heights Airport Authority. That would include the turn lanes and deceleration lane and all the improvements out on Highway 100, as well as construction for the economic corridor that would connect the new access road to the existing old access road into the airport. That'll open up that area for economic development. The City of Stark, we would like to write a letter of support for them to include the 301 to State Road 16 bypass wastewater construction at $1.5 million. Also, the drinking water meter replacement program at $875,000 and the stormwater master plan at $325,000. Next is the ARC of Bradford County. They're asking for program funding for $750,000. That we would $1,000.
I think that was correct.
I'm sorry.
It's 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a new number there.
Yeah.
It's 1.5 million. And number 6 is Bradford Sports United. This is for the newly created recreation department for fencing and improvements for Edward Road Park fields at $150,000.
Mr. Cornegay, is there a correction on, and I think Ms. Thompson brought it up earlier, we've got the 1.5 million for the City of Stark request. Didn't we say that was 2.5?
Yes, sir, we did that. So the 1.5 for the water and wastewater extension, and then 875 for the water meter replacement, and then 325,000 for the stormwater master plan, which totals 2.7 million.
How much?
2.7 million.
Okay.
So the manager's looking for, is there consensus to proceed, or is there any amendments to that before we actually formalize the legislative priorities?
Let's proceed.
Yeah. What's the 1.5 million for RJE?
That is their phase 4 project. When they did the gym, they're saying that it had some asbestos, so that's going to take away from some of the monies that they had for that. And then in phase 4, the stormwater drain issue in those buildings, that would address that. And the monies that they did have to like complete the floor and the gym, the other monies to pay out for the asbestos took away. So that's what that increase.
Okay.
That's
So
for those buildings.
did this get into the packet or not? Okay. So I just received this afternoon about 3:00 from Ms. McMillan this letter that outlines the request. They have 5 items that the money would cover. As Commissioner Spooner just mentioned, number 1 on the list is stormwater drainage and other plumbing upgrades for all buildings. Number 2, cafeteria reconstruction and commercial kitchen repairs. Item 3 is gymnasium completion, including floor covering, wall padding, scoreboard, and mural. Item 4 is HVAC installation throughout the facility. And item 5 is professional, architectural, and engineering services.
Thanks. Okay. Do I have a consensus of the board to approve, to move forward with all these items?
Mr. Cornegay, I think the expansion of the bridge on Southwest 106, you may have said way?
So this is the road that we recently paved.
Right, but it's 106th Avenue.
Oh, okay. I misspoke.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we got that right. Okay.
106th Avenue.
Okay. We don't want to put a bridge on 106th Way.
No, sir, we do not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. Board, we good?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So item C, just wanted to remind everyone that Rural County Days is scheduled for January 21st and 22nd in Tallahassee. You'll be communicating with Amanda to get you registered and get your hotel rooms set up. So in the coming weeks, we'll be taking care of that. Just wanted to get that on everyone's radar.
Now, when is that now?
Jump in on that.
January 21 and 22.
So if you're marking your calendars, you may want to mark going over on January 20th, because the 21st, this is the first time I've ever seen this, is Florida Association of County Days. So that actually overlaps with Rural County Days. So they'll have events too.
I didn't know. Good. All right. Item D. So on a very, very sad and somber note, the deputy county manager in Flagler County, Jorge Salinas, and his wife Nancy were tragically killed in an automobile accident on I-4 about a week or 10 days ago. So, Jorge was a big part of the conferences that we have with the Florida Association of Counties and the Florida City and County Managers Association, and a real public servant that will certainly be missed, especially in Flagler County, but most certainly across the state because of his participation in statewide policy events. So we just wanted to recognize him and his family and be praying for them through this horrible time. Item E is FDOT funding for Southeast 9th Highway 100 Trailhead. This was a unexpected gift that we just learned about earlier in the week. We got communication from FDOT that the design phase funding had been approved at $60,961, and the construction phase is also approved at $254,005. So what started out as Commissioner Riddick and myself and Mr. Dodds were thinking about ways to improve that area because FDOT had blocked off the roadway, the side of the road, the right-of-way, right there at the crossing on 100. So we were in a meeting here with FDOT, and Ms. Roberson, when we presented that to them, she said, well, you know what, there's a good chance we can get that funded and make it a full-blown trailhead. So sure enough, 6-8 months later, the funding comes through, and we're very excited about that opportunity because it'll be a trailhead similar to the one in Keystone Heights as well as the one in Flora Home, which are both very nice facilities. So we're excited about that. All right. And that is all, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Great news. County Attorney's report.
Nothing else, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, excuse me, commissioner comments.
Hey, Mr. Chair,
Bullock.
Ms. Bullock already left, but I did want to say, and I don't want to miss anything. I don't know, 100% about, some of the questions that she had, but I do want to say that there was signage out there, on the project site, for the stuff that came before the board and with Mr. Andrews. But again, like I said, I wasn't real clear on, what she didn't agree with, but I do want to say that I know that the signage was out there because again, I'd, go out to Roy's Grocery and I would see it there. So, anyway, just wanted to bring that up, and hopefully I'm talking about the same piece of property because I'm pretty sure that was it, but nonetheless, another thing, Mr. Cornegay, just, please be sure. And also, Ms. Thompson, Clerk Thompson, that Mr. Dodds is a part of these conversations moving forward. I know that he has been up to this point, but, when it comes to, the CEI on the project and things like that. We just want to keep him involved. He's an asset to us, and he'll be an asset to the project and to you all too. So I just want to make sure that he's kept informed as we go along the way. So that's really all I have. And going back to Jackson's, that we have a proclamation on our November the 4th meeting for Mr. Jackson, proclaiming November the 5th as Mr. Leroy Jackson Day. So if there's anybody listening out there on YouTube, I would invite family and friends. Certainly the family, I know they're aware of it, so they'll be here. But any friends that want to come, for that presentation of the proclamation, certainly don't want anybody to miss that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Spooner?
Yes. Tomorrow is the homecoming for our Bradford High School and also for I think UF. So just encouraging people to be safe and watch out for the kids and all of the festive times, to be very careful during that time. And also when our municipalities, no matter where they are having activities when we can participate, it's always good. So Hampton will have their centennial celebration next Saturday, a week from this Saturday, and if we can participate, it's going to be from 11 to 3 p.m. at the, what is it called, the
Bobby Shepherd Memorial Park.
So
325.
Is that
and
where
so
it's at?
so
Ma'am?
Is that where it's at?
Yes, ma'am. When you go through Hampton, when you're going out of Hampton heading towards Keystone, is the first hard road on the right going out that goes out to Lake Alto, 325.
so as often as we can to just support our local municipalities. And I just again wanted to thank our new clerk, our city clerk, Ms. Thompson, for coming. She kept her word and she made sure that we had presentation from the city. And I'm just so excited for you. And I know we're going to do some good things between our two areas. And thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Spooner just reminded me of something else I wanted to remind everyone of. Tomorrow is homecoming for Bradford County, and the homecoming parade, I believe, lineup is at noon, and then it rolls off at 1 p.m. And if any of you would like to participate in the parade, you're certainly welcome. We have plenty of room for all 5 of you in different vehicles and apparatus. So if you want to participate, please be here by noon, and we'll get you lined up, and we'll participate in the parade. I want to, but I'll be out of town, so
Right.
I think I mentioned that to Amanda already. So
I will too.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank y'all for coming out. I know a lot of us left, but thank y'all. And thank you, Miss Chrissy.
I too want to say congratulations. I know I did it on Facebook, but congratulations. And thank you for you guys coming in and speaking with us tonight and giving us some idea of where we're at. I want to ask everyone to be in prayer. We have one of our employees, Danny Jones, that works at one of our collection sites. He was in a terrible accident 3 days ago, was it? I think it was like 3 days ago.
Who is in it?
Tuesday morning. We call him Worm. That's his nickname. And so, but
Who is he?
and no disrespect, he just
Oh, is that
Danny Jones. And but he is very hurt. He has like 8 broke ribs,
Lord, I
a
feel
broke
sorry.
thumb. I mean, he broke his femur. He's in bad shape. We saw him today, and he just wanted to tell the paramedics that took care of him, thank you, that they had done an awesome job. So I told him I would say that, but please keep him in prayer because he's got a long road of healing ahead of him. And I guess that's about it. Thank everybody for coming and being with us tonight and bringing forward some of the things that we do need to look at, do need to consider. So I appreciate each one of you.
Thank you. All right. To thank you, every one of y'all from being here. Mrs. Thompson, thank you so much for coming and making the presentation. And I'm glad you're here for this because, just to give y'all an update on the, Recreation Board, we have met and, we have selected, the full 7-member board. And I will tell you this, we had 8 applicants. All of them were fantastic. I mean, any of them would have done a great job. And it was very, very hard for us to just choose 4. But we got it narrowed down to 4. As y'all know, Kathy Bradley from the city, and I will tell you, she's excellent. She does an excellent job. Gene Melvin, TDC, the county appointed myself to represent the county. Then Marty Shaw will be on the board, Joanne Jackson, Josh Davis, and Clint Collins. And excellent board. Our first official meeting date will be next Thursday on the 23rd at 1:30 at the City Hall. So if anybody wants to come to that meeting, and also I've spoken with our attorney again this morning. He will be getting with the city to set up the MOU or whatever process we need to do to get the 2 boards moving forward, and also to get the 501c3 opened up and get this thing rolling. So I'm very excited about it. And again, all the people that were involved in this are all super excited, ready to get this thing kicked off and get it moving forward. So I thank everyone, thank this board for giving us the opportunity to do this. So
One quick question. The lady that spoke, who is Victor? She kept referring to Victor. Who is Victor?
Keith.
I took that to mean that was the property owner's name that the letter was addressed to, and maybe there was a typo in the name, the way it was
Oh.
addressed.
Okay.
yeah, because I wrote that down in my notes too to talk to
Yeah,
Amanda
I don't
later
know.
because I really didn't understand what
Yeah,
she was
we-
talking about
yeah,
with the Victor.
We don't know. I mean, we can
Okay.
dig around, but
Yeah.
yeah, no idea.
Okay. With that, if nothing else come before the board. Okay. Meeting adjourned.